The Wild Hunt. Long before the church bells learned their voices, before roads were tamed with stones, the hills belonged to the wind and to the hunt. In the valley of Rowanmere, elders taught their children a single rule for winter nights. When the sky roars like hooves and the moon shatters into running clouds, bar your doors, bank your fires low, and do not look outside. For the wild hunt rode then, and no mortal gaze could follow it without paying a price. Elin of Rowanmere learned this as all children did, with a shiver and a thrill. But Elin was a shepherd's daughter, and shepherd's daughters are taught another lesson too. When a lamb wanders, you go after it, no matter the hour. On the first night of the year's darkest frost, Elin's smallest ewe broke the pen and vanished into the moor. The wind rose sharp as knives, and the moon climbed thin and bright. Elin wrapped herself in her father's cloak and followed the trail of cloven prints beyond the last fence post. She had nearly reached the standing stones when the world changed. The air thickened, as if the sky were holding its breath. Then came the sound, horns calling in a language older than sorrow, and hooves beating not the ground, but the bones beneath it. Dogs bayed with voices like iron dragged over ice. Elin froze. From the clouds poured riders, men and women pale as frost, eyes burning like coals banked too long. Their cloaks streamed like torn banners, and their horses ran with fire in their manes. At their head rode a tall figure, crowned with antlers, his face both young and ancient, joy and grief braided together. The Wild Hunt. Elin dropped to her knees and pressed her forehead to the frozen earth, remembering the rule. Do not look, do not speak, do not beg. But the lost ewe bleated once, thin and frightened. The sound cut through the thunder of hooves. The antlered lord raised his hand. The hunt slowed, then stilled, dogs pacing, steam rising from their jaws. Silence fell so deep, Elin could hear her own heart crack like ice. "Who calls to us?" the Lord asked, his voice like wind through dead leaves. Elin knew better. She knew, yet the ew's cry came again, and before fear could stop her, she answered. "I do," she said. "Forgive me." The riders turned their burning eyes upon her. Some smiled, others looked almost kind. The antlered lord dismounted. Up close, Elin saw scars crossing his hands, old wounds that never healed. "Few speak and live," he said. "Why should you?" Elin swallowed. "Because something I care for is lost, and because you know the ways between what is found and what is gone." A murmur rippled through the hunt. The Lord studied her for a long moment. Then he laughed, sudden and bright. A shepherd's daughter with a shepherd's courage. He pointed to the darkness beyond the stones. "Your ewe stands where the ground remembers blood. Fetch her before the hunt rides again. Fail, and you ride with us until your name is forgotten." Elin did not thank him. She ran. Beyond the stones, the land dipped into an old hollow where snow never lay smooth. There she found the ewe, tangled in thorn and shadow. As Elin cut her free, the darkness whispered, promises of rest, of forgetting cold and hunger forever. Elin sang instead, an old tune her mother used to calm Whams, and the whispers fled. She returned as the horns lifted once more. The antlered lord nodded. "You chose the living road," he said. "For that, a gift or a warning." He leaned close. When the hunt rides, we gather what the world has cast aside, broken oaths, unburied dead, griefs with no names. Leave such things untended, and we will come. He mounted his horse. The hunt surged forward, dogs leaping, riders howling with terrible joy. As they vanished into cloud and moonlight, frost bloomed briefly in their hoofprints, then melted as if they had never been. Elin carried her ewe home. Years passed. Rowanmere prospered. Elin grew, married, buried her parents, and taught her own children the old rules. But she also taught them this: mend what is broken, speak the truth before it festers, bury the dead with care, keep your promises. And on winter nights, when the wind howled like distant horns, the people of Rowanmere banked their fires low, not only from fear, but from respect, for the wild hunt still rides, and it always listens.